Welcome to Mamamia Out Loud. It's what women are actually talking about on Wednesday, the 10th of December. Shit, it's my brother's birthday.
You just realised, didn't you?
Lucky for me, it's not today in England yet. All right.
We're the future. Are we in the future?
Back. I have to text my brother. I'm Holly Wainwright.
I'm Amelia Lester.
And I'm Jessie Stevens.
And here's what's on our agenda for today. A rock star told an Australian audience member off, and the response was the Aussiest thing you've ever heard. But is there a good reason that no one knows how to behave at concerts anymore?
And why is everybody trying to trick us? It really does feel like 2025 has been the year of wading through a swamp of scams.
Okay, half the Mamamia office is eating KFC right now, and I swear the smell alone has me thinking that the way to add some joy to my salad would be hot chicken tenders. And honestly, why fight it? If it's crispy, golden, and makes you happy, that's not giving in. That's smart living. We don't need guilt for lunch. We need something simple, delicious, and easy. Because sometimes happiness looks a lot like a bucket of chicken. KFC FLG.
But first,
in case you missed it, it's Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry. They're Instagram official.
Oh.
There's not a single thing I don't love about this story. It's one of my favourite things to have happened in 2025. It was only in April this year that Katy was entering her astronaut era.
It's true.
She was with Orlando and she was a laughing stock. Like, I feel as though she was sort of in a flop era. She was. And it felt a bit icky, the pylon, all of that. And she's turned it around. So anyone who's in a flop era, in 6 months, you two could be dating the former Prime Minister of Canada.
But you know what's interesting is that Justin was also in his flop era.
That's true.
His political career did not end exactly in blazes of glory. So I feel like both of them have lifted each other up.
See, I didn't follow his political career as closely as I could have, but
That's
I feel
what
like
I'm here for, Jessie.
Well, I feel like generally I feel warm towards him politically.
Well, he's very handsome.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So what happened was Katy uploaded a carousel, and one image was them a selfie of their faces squished together.
Cute.
It was a really nice one. There was another where she was eating sushi and he was looking at her lovingly.
Adoringly, yeah.
Loved it.
He might have been looking at the sushi adoringly too, because they were in Japan. I bet that sushi was great.
Yes, because she's touring in Japan.
Went deep on this.
Yeah.
That sushi restaurant in that carousel is the same sushi restaurant people think as the one that she went to with Orlando on New Year's Eve 2024.
No way.
And all that she posted from that was just this silent video of them toasting with their sake glasses. Very different vibe.
No, I didn't feel like things were good. They'd been together for 10 years. They were engaged, her and Orlando. I don't know what Orlando's up to, and I don't care, because Katy is just having a moment. And this came after Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida shared a picture of him and his wife and, quote, Justin Trudeau and his partner while they were in Japan.
You know, I'm obsessed with when girlfriend/boyfriend becomes partner.
I love partner.
But like, don't we need longer than 3 months to become partner?
No. I think this indicates it's serious.
Okay.
But the internet got very grumpy about the picture.
Yep.
Because the four of them are standing there and they're not happy with what Katy was wearing. Amelia, can you describe what the fuss was about?
I'm not happy about what Katy was wearing, and I love them as a couple. You know I do.
Yeah.
But she was wearing this brown tweed mini skirt suit, and the skirt was very short. It reminded me of when I wore a school uniform and we all rolled up the waist of the skirt when we got.
She's wearing stockings
Yeah,
though.
but with mid-calf boots.
So that's demure. That's practically demure. A mini skirt with stockings.
I just thought it was inappropriate for meeting a former head of state. I love that Justin's caption was, "Thank you, Fumio, for your friendship and your continued commitment to both the international rules-based order and making a better planet."
She should have worn her
Katy
spacesuit.
loves the rules-based order.
Yeah, she does. She should have worn her spacesuit. That would have been more appropriate for the people.
If you told Katy that 6 months ago she'd be getting a pic, in fact, her hard launch of her relationship would be coming from the Japanese Prime Minister, who I don't think she could have named. Like, the poor woman did not have a wardrobe full of slacks and sensible long pleated skirts.
She needs a pantsuit now. She's a political wife.
That was the closest thing she had was a mini skirt. And I think she looked just lovely.
I thought it was fine. I have another update on the couples front. It's from Pammy. You know,
Holly, I have had it with them. I've had it.
Me too, Jessie, because remember for a brief period this year we were all obsessed with Pamela Anderson, Liam Neeson, and were they or weren't they pashing?
Yeah.
They were pashing on TV and then they'd be like, oh, we've been caught. Oh, because they were in a movie together. Naked Gun, I think it's the 5th one or something. Nobody saw it. We didn't need an update, but we've got one. And Pammy has given an interview for People where she expressed upset that people thought this was a stunt. Let me just read you a little bit of what she said about this. If you must know, she said. I did not. I mustn't know, Pammy. But okay.
I've forgotten.
If you must know, Liam and I were romantically involved for a short while, but only after we'd finished filming, she says. We spent an intimate week together at his home in upstate New York, during which time he chased away a bear from the kitchen window while wearing a towel.
She said that?
Yes.
Oh.
Also, she had her own room. Doesn't sound very
Doesn't
intimate.
sound romantic.
Both of their assistants came, she said. Even family stopped by.
Oh, very intimate.
To see the bear. We went to dinner at a tiny French restaurant where he introduced me as the future Mrs. Neeson.
Sorry, there is so much detail here. Is she going to tell us what they ordered?
And then she said, if you thought you needed more detail, which you didn't, but I appreciate this detail, I tended to a rose bush overgrown with mint. Mint gets everywhere, guys. Like, don't put mint in your beds. It gets everywhere. Pammy's found this out.
Sorry, in your beds. They didn't have the same bed, Holly. She's free to put mint in her
You
bed.
need to keep it in a pot. Anyway, Pammy knows this. But she says, I always was laughing when people thought, oh, that's a publicity stunt. I'm like, a publicity stunt? This is real. We have real feelings. I adore Liam. And then she just adds, but we are better friends, in full honesty.
Okay, so you know how like the telltale sign of a lie is that people are over-explaining and giving more details than anyone asked
and adding bears to
Yeah.
the
Tiny French restaurant.
That's just not true. I'm tired. I'm irritable. It's December. I've had enough of you two committing to this ruse. We were tricked. We know we were tricked. Leave it.
The other thing is, even with the runaway mint detail, the maths doesn't math because they filmed that movie in the northern summer of last year, 2024. So they finished filming that in June 2024, at which point they went away for their intimate week because she said it was just after we finished filming. They were only pashing on the telly 3 months ago. So even if you did have an intimate week, Patty, where you dealt with his mint, you are still tricking
You know what
us.
I'm doing the second I walk out of this record is I'm Googling the prevalence of bears during the warmer months. I guess that they hibernate
that's when
in winter.
the bears
That's
are
when they come out.
prevalent.
Okay, well, that's to her credit.
Okay.
That's a detail that could
Let's look
corroborate.
up mint, though. When does mint grow?
When does mint like to bolt?
You know who's having more than just an intimate week, an intimate year? Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner.
I couldn't love them more.
This is my couple that I want to bring to the chat because I am obsessed with them. They appeared this week at the premiere of Timmy's new table tennis movie, which stars Gwyneth Paltrow.
Tell us what they were wearing.
They were wearing matching traffic cone orange outfits. They looked, I couldn't stop looking at them, not because I thought they looked good or bad, but because I thought they looked so orange. Like they were both wearing orange shoes even. And I just couldn't stop staring at it.
It was couple dressing to the nth
It was
degree.
very look at moi, and I have to say that I'm happy to give them attention because there's something about the two of them that is utterly compelling. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I cannot look away from these people.
Yeah, I can't. I don't understand them. I'm bamboozled by it, but I believe them.
Look,
I believe in it.
Let me just unpack why they seem so ill-suited to each other. She is like the queen of posting. She is an influencer. No one understands the internet better than her. She got lip filler at 16. She was selling billions of dollars of lip kits at 17. She gets the internet. She's like, she had a baby in secret.
She did.
Have you ever considered that, Jessie?
And then she made a really mysterious video about how they may had a baby in secret. You're like, oh, you're so good
She's
at this.
basically like the queen of influencers. And he is the youngest 2-time Oscar nominee since James Dean. I didn't even know that.
He's a real artiste.
He's like critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him.
This is why I love them, because I don't understand it. I'm on the record on Out Loud several times as saying, I think one of the things that people struggle with about this is if they've been snobby about Jenna, then this relationship and the fact that it works probably tells us that she's more interesting than we give her credit for, and he's less interesting than we give him credit for, and they meet in the middle in a glorious orange mesh.
Yes.
But also, what I like about this, I'm learning to understand, is that it used to be you had to pick a lane. You're artist or you're like high-profile tabloid relationship. You can't be both. And he's like, fuck the rules. This is my woman and I love her.
Yeah, you expect him to be with some kind of indie French film actress. And the fact it's Kylie Jenner just kind of works for me. Can we please have a quick prediction? 2026, this time next year, are they still together? I am going to put it on the record. I don't think so.
You know what? A month ago, I wouldn't have said they would have made this year together because there were a lot of breakup rumours.
Yeah.
But I think there may be the little relationship that could. And Gwyneth, and I just have to say that the fact that on Christmas Day, a movie is being released that has Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow making out might be the best Christmas present I have ever had.
True. I will be saying that in a heartbeat.
But if, as Gwyneth says, there's something very rock and roll about the fact he's dating a single mum of two.
Timothee's priming us for the long term because he's been giving interviews talking about, he rather controversially said recently that he thinks that people who don't have children are living empty lives.
Yeah.
Which is a bit harsh and unfair. And of course, Kylie famously was a young mum. So I wonder if he isn't priming us for maybe a big announcement in 2026.
Oh, true.
Or a non-announcement. It's another secret baby. And then they'll just debut it in an orange PVC onesie.
Good
In a
for clean
traffic
up.
cone.
You two know who Garbage are, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
only happy when it
That's
rains.
exactly right. That's exactly
Were they
right.
90s?
They were very 90s. Shirley Manson was their lead vocalist. Very cool, Scottish. Anyway, Garbage are touring at the moment. They're at the Good Things Festival. It was in Flemington on Friday. Other people at this festival are like Tool and Weezer. This is a very middle-aged people's festival, right? Because it's the kind that I go to sometimes where you can take a beach chair. That's the kind of vibe, right? But not, crucially, a beach ball. Because what happened at Flemington is that one of these lovely middle-aged people was wearing a sun hat, sunnies, and was waving a beach ball above his head. And Shirley was not here for it. This is what she said, and excuse the swears.
Oh, dude! You're such a big fucking important guy with your big fucking beach ball. Ooh, I'm so scared of you. So thrilled by you. What a fucking douchebag.
Okay.
I never want a Scottish person to be angry at me.
Is that against concert etiquette? To have a beach ball?
Well, it actually sometimes, because there's a lot of bands where they like you having inflatables bouncing them around, and then there are a lot that do not.
All right.
Infamously, a very cool band called the Pixies, who you wouldn't have heard of, darling. No, but anyway, they once stopped a show to make everyone put the beach balls away because they were like, we are not a beach ball kind of band. I
don't even know what that means.
having a vibe.
Okay.
Anyway, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, after she said that, she then went on and called him an effing middle-aged man in an effing ridiculous hat, which is, right to the heart, and a fucking face. She went really hard.
It's just strange because she is Scottish. She has bright red hair. She has very pale skin. In the Australian sun, you need to wear a hat. I'm sorry, Shirley.
Yeah, exactly right.
European people never understand that. They think if you live in the sun, you just walk around in a bikini and a thong at all times. Anyway, it sounds to me, since she did go on to also call him a small man with a small penis, that Shirley was having a bad day. But the very next day, this tour went on to Brisbane, and Australianed pretty hard at Manson, turning up to the Brisbane date with hundreds of beach balls where they bounced about everywhere. Carl Quinn in the Herald wrote this about Manson. Her real issue seems to be, he wrote, with the pittance artists earn from Spotify and the way that fans at festivals don't value the artists but treat them as mere circus acts. It reeked of an artist who's just over it. Or, I have another theory. even though I think that this was a very over-the-top attack on this poor dude who just was waving a pink beach ball above his head while he was singing I'm Only Happy When It Rains.
Sun protection.
Yeah, exactly. Is this just a bit of a symptom of how artists are sick to the back teeth of what a lot of people are saying of fans behaving badly at concerts? A few more pieces of evidence for you. Oasis gig in Melbourne where somebody set off a flare. Liam called them the C word. It was a big deal. Jelly Roll, that country music guy, played Melbourne in November and a woman got pelted with rubbish in the crowd because she got up and danced in a seated section. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that was so unfair.
What are concerts for if it's not
You
for
should
dancing?
be allowed to dance in the seated section.
And this isn't just in Australia, of course. Lots of artists have had to complain and call out fans for throwing things at them, which has become a big thing over the last few years, from phones to somebody's ashes. Someone once threw their mother's ashes at Pink while she was on stage. And last week, Sabrina Carpenter got thrown some fluffy handcuffs and she got really mad and threw them back. What is up with everybody?
I wonder if that's certainly part of it, because every time there's a concert, there seems to be a story of someone storming the stage or something being thrown. And that would be really scary. Like in terms of security, remember that footage recently even of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo walking the red carpet, and there was that Australian professional troll essentially who stormed the carpet. He did that on stage with Katy Perry this year. He's done it with The Weeknd in Australia, where they have been performing and you see someone come up on stage, run at them, like you would freak.
He just got intercepted at Lady Gaga's concert in
Yeah,
Brisbane.
Oh my God,
literally
just this
just last
week.
night. Yeah. So I think that there certainly are examples of bad behaviour, and why that is increasing, which there does seem to be evidence that it's increasing. I mean, one theory would obviously be phones. So Johnson Wen, who is the one who got on stage with Katy Perry, who doesn't even have that large a following.
He's the guy, the one who ran at Ariana.
Yes, like what's behind that is clearly main character energy. A bunch of his captions are about being the main character. He just wants his viral moment, right? And he's using famous people and concerts and the attention of tens of thousands of people to get that. So it's sort of like the streaker, except rather than it being television cameras, like you're just kind of getting yourself your 5 seconds of fame, which would be so intensely irritating if you're an artist trying to do your job.
And get your 15 minutes of fame.
Exactly.
Especially if you're trying to get it back from the 90s like Shirley was doing.
Yes.
I went on a bit of a journey with the Shirley footage. I definitely found it to be my worst nightmare. Like to be called out in public by someone for doing something wrong is literally my worst nightmare.
And also he wasn't really doing
he
something
wasn't
wrong.
really. But then I thought, I do think Carl Quinn has a point in this idea of musicians probably feel more exposed and vulnerable on stage than ever before. You think about the fact that in the last decade we saw Ariana Grande's concert in the UK disrupted by terrorism. Taylor Swift had to call off her Vienna concert because of a very credible piece of intelligence about a terrorist plot. And I'm sure that anyone who is going up on stage anywhere in the world right now is feeling more vulnerable than they used to.
That's a good point.
That's
very on
actually
edge.
that's so true. And I wonder too, because there's this concert boom happening in Australia, right? And it's stadiums, it's arenas. It is, I think just this year we've had Bryan Adams, Billie Eilish, Rufus, Oasis, Drake, Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa, Katy Perry, Luke Combs, Lewis Capaldi. So many come. These are all people who can sell out a stadium. So there are record-breaking numbers. And of course with Taylor Swift earlier this year, it was the biggest show she ever did, 96,000 in Melbourne. That's a lot of people in one place, which also means that
96,000 people.
It is so many, which means there's massive issues with organisation, with crowd control, with even the Lady Gaga concert last night. They're saying that there was a line, people got in who had lined up for ages, missed the first 6 songs.
Yeah, that was me at Oasis too. It was, and I think what's interesting about that is that we're all craving this in real life experience, which is why live things are becoming so big. And also artists are touring more and for longer and going to more places because the economics of the music industry has shifted, right? So
you need to tour to make money.
That's how they're making their money now. So everybody's touring all the time. And the thing is we're craving these in real life experiences and we love them, but we also kind of hate them because it's the inconvenience of being somewhere with lots of other people and them interfering with your. We're usually in control of everything these days, aren't we? We talk about that a lot. We're very uncomfortable with discomfort, with having to wait for things, with not having things the way we want them. And going to a major event is nothing if not inconvenient, full of people who will irritate you, not being able to do everything on your timeline. Like I got here at half an hour before the show started and then I had to stand in a line for 45 minutes.
But in their defense.
It's like, but I know, but I'm not necessarily criticizing them because I am one of them. But I'm like, we may have, people say that concert etiquette is unspoken. It's like we have an unspoken agreement of how to behave. But do we have any unspoken agreements about anything anymore? Do you know what I mean? Don't we need it all spelled out for us all the time?
I reckon, you know how we were even talking about airlines recently and bad airport behaviour and planes and you've got major corporations really pissing people off who have spent a lot of money. So they've turned up having spent hundreds of dollars.
And concert tickets have gotten more expensive.
And then I can't even stand up without someone throwing rubbish at me.
Yeah, if I have paid hundreds of dollars for my Lady Gaga ticket and it has been in my diary for 8 months and I turn up and I miss the first 6 songs, I am not going to behave myself. Like I think that you're going to get a whole lot of really irritable people. Chuck in that we had this break with COVID where probably a lot of people did lose a bit of a sense of how you're meant to behave. Chuck in the person in front of you has their phone and is filming themselves in the concert the whole time. That's irritating to people. We probably don't have an understanding of concert etiquette anymore.
How mad do you think Shirley was in Brisbane when everybody brought a beach ball? Do you think her mint well and truly bolted at that point? She's just like, I am no longer in control of anything.
I hate it. And then I go, how bad? Our Australian audience is particularly bad.
I don't think so. A lot of artists who've had the things thrown at them, that's happening everywhere. It's happening in America. Cardi B punched somebody because they threw something at her. There's a whole, I think it's everywhere, to be fair.
I came across a TikTok the other day that made me realise I'm not the only one who has no idea why some bananas have some red at the end.
I needed this because I didn't know either.
Yeah, okay.
I just thought they were expensive and green.
All right. I didn't even notice the price. Okay. I just went, and I've never bothered to look it up, right? But the video, there was this video on TikTok and it features tourists in a supermarket with the question, can someone Australian explain what the hell is going on here?
Was one of them Shirley Manson?
And the other one was Bonnie Blue.
They're both very irritable. And a content creator named Nick White helpfully responded, and here's what he said.
Australian here. So those are the bananas with the red bits at the end of them. I hope that helps.
That would be exactly my answer. That it has a bit of red wax. Okay, can I guess? Because I still haven't looked this up. It keeps the banana together.
No.
It's wax that helps with
It's like
peeling.
emotional support scaffolding for the banana.
Exactly right. It's like how
It is wax.
pregnant people use a belly band. It's like a belly band for a banana.
No, it's not. That's not it.
Why? Why?
Can we just explain why we're asking Holly? She is the banana correspondent.
Do you grow bananas?
I don't grow bananas, but back when I was a little backpacker, I worked on a banana farm in far north Queensland. It was very exciting.
See, this is
I
what
love
the
this about you.
respectable Brits do. They
There were-
go and they pick the bananas.
I was not
No OnlyFans for
spitting
you.
into vials. That wasn't a thing then. And no one would have wanted to see me in my
You'd have
banana
gotten paid better.
overalls. Because here's something you don't know about bananas. Banana sap, it never comes out. Never comes out of your overalls, never.
But
Anyway.
it would smell quite nice, wouldn't it? Fruity?
Yeah, look, it does. Working on a banana farm there were lots of rats, and I don't, you know how I am with rodents. There were lots of rats. There were lots of snakes. Don't really mind snakes.
But were the overalls kind of chic in a Levi's classic Americana way?
I was wearing, because it was the 90s, because, I'm young, I was wearing the little denim cut-off ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And they did get banana. Anyway, we digress. they mark that those bananas are organic. The red ones are more expensive because they're more ethically eco-grown. They're eco-organic bananas, and that's what they are.
And they tend to be smaller. Is that because they haven't
they tend to be
gotten the
smaller
pesticide
because they are
treatment?
the organic bananas. And I thought everybody knew this.
So you wouldn't put a sticker on it because that's not very organic?
Well, yeah, you put the red wax. Well, there's also bananas that are one single. I mean, doesn't it drive you crazy that there's a sticker on every piece of fruit?
But here's how you remember. It's like artisanal. It's like an artisanal candle, except it's a banana.
There you go.
Oh.
And also that means that you know how on some dating, there used to be a thing that which way up your bananas were in the cart meant that you were single or you were married or not married but taken. Well, if you've got the red tip bananas facing up.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, the mind boggles.
And ethical and maybe vegetarian. You know?
Wow. Do you buy the organic?
No, I don't.
Are they a bit pricey?
I should,
yeah,
but I don't. But that's what they're for. And I didn't know that was an Australian-only thing, but there you go.
Can we make this a regular segment where we just ask Holly questions about bananas? I got lots.
I have one more thing to tell you, that before my banana picking days, my Saturday job as a teenager was in a greengrocer's in Manchester. And we used to open boxes of bananas that had come from the West Indies, and sometimes spiders as big as your head would come out of them. That had made it all the way from the West Indies to cold, rainy Manchester.
And this is pre-red tip, right?
No, there were no red tip bananas in that shop. Anything else we need to know? No, I didn't think so.
Okay, that's really, I thought it was an aesthetic choice, but I'm glad to know it serves
By the
purpose.
banana in particular.
Yeah, exactly right. The banana chose a hat.
Scam stories have become like modern day horror stories. Have you noticed this? You're seeing them everywhere now, and I always read them in the exact same way. I kind of have like my fingers over my eyes. I grow increasingly tense and scared, and it's just they're really nerve-wracking to read.
Don't you reckon too that your threshold of like a horror scam story keeps getting higher and higher? Like now it's like $40,000.
Yes.
Come on. I need like $400,000 and a year-long ruse. Like that's what counts for me.
Well, gather around the campfire, pretend that I'm shining a torch underneath my chin. I am about to tell you a very scary scam story. Hard to say that. This one comes from a Substack this week. It was written by a very smart journalist called Yasha Malk. And he was walking in Paris recently. That sounds very nice. And he got a call from Google. Literally it said on his phone, Google is calling.
He didn't answer, obviously.
Well, he'd never gotten a call from Google before.
No.
But he did pick up because earlier that day, you know how sometimes you get those emails which are like, you tried to log into Facebook or whatever, here's a verification code, but you didn't try and log in? He got one of those about YouTube. And he just dismissed it because he hadn't tried to log in. But he thought, oh, well, I did get that weird email earlier today, so I better pick it up. And he picked up. And they said, are you Yasha Malk? And they used his middle name. They told him his address. They told him his date of birth. They told him his social security number, which is like his tax file number. They had all of this information about him. So that suggested to him that this was in fact Google, because that was a lot of information. And by the way, they sounded very professional. He said they spoke in unaccented American English. And so they said about half an hour ago, someone contacted us, that is Google. They had a copy of your driver's license and they used that and other details to get into your account.
I would believe this. If I was him on the phone, I would believe that was Google warning me.
Yeah, they said, we are calling you as a courtesy to ensure that was you. And he said, that wasn't me. Someone's tried to get into my account. And they said, not a worry, we can lock them out of your account, but we do need to act fast. So at this point, he knew that he should be suspicious, right?
When they tell you to act fast is sometimes a red flag.
He knew that he should be suspicious, but then he did what I think all of us would do. He looked down at his phone. He looked at the phone number. Guess what? It matched the phone number for Google support on Google's website.
Oh, no.
That is how sophisticated scammers are getting. They are now able to essentially inhabit the phone number of the person that they're pretending to be. And he said, look, I need some proof that it's you. Can you call me back in 5 minutes so I can just check that this phone number is correct? And they said yes, and they called him back. But he eventually realized it was a scam because he checked his Google account to see if he was logged in anywhere else, and he wasn't. And so when they called him back, he said, basically, the jig's up, go away, and they hung up on him. But the story felt so relatable to me because he goes through the different emotions that you feel when you are contacted by a scammer. And when I'm describing the story to you, it's hard to fully imagine what that's like, to get a call from someone that says, someone has access to your whole Google account. We can help you stop that. And you'd feel a lot of gratification. So he describes the emotions. There's suspicion. Is this person real? There's fear. Oh my God, someone has access to my Google account. And there's also, and I thought this was so interesting, a sense of social obligation. It's actually very hard to call someone out for their bullshit if you're not Shirley Manson. It's very hard to say to someone, I think you are full of shit. And so that is often what propels us on and causes us to ask more questions and potentially get deeper and deeper into the scam. So look, I want to know, Holly, when I told you that story, could you relate to any elements there?
100%. I'm very, I think we're all so scam aware, and there's also another emotion, which is there's an element of shame always about the idea that you could get scammed, because don't only people who don't understand the internet get scammed, don't people who are only not very smart get scammed, don't only, vulnerable people get scammed. And the thing is, as you say, scammers are getting more and more and more sophisticated. I feel like this Christmas period, this sort of Black Friday and leading up to Christmas period, scams are so front of mind. We're doing all our shopping online. Every time I hunt something down, one of my kids has sent me a 24-page PowerPoint presentation of all the things that they want. And you go and you look and you're like, is this a reputable site?
Yes.
And then you go and Google the site to see if it is a reputable site. And there will be definitely comments there that say, this place is a scam. And there'll also be comments saying, this place is great. And you don't know. And it's added all these extra steps to everything. I find it really, I feel like we've been the proliferation of scams and the fact that we live our lives online the same way, we've been left with a lot of work here. Like it's so much anxiety and work to try and figure out what's real. And I think it used to be that we'd say, being trusting is a good thing. Living your life all the time as if somebody's trying to scam you was a bad way to live, but we all kind of have to live like that
and
now, and that lack of trust is kind of leaky.
The promise was that this was going to make our lives easier.
Yes.
The online shopping was going to make our lives easier. Online banking was going to make our lives easier. Having everything on Google, and it hasn't. It's made Christmas shopping in many ways harder because people are so alert to it. My frustration is that particularly meta platforms can advertise brands that are scams. And this happens all the time. You have something that comes up on your Facebook or your Instagram and it looks like a really good deal. Often it's with clothing or whatever. And you can click it and buy it and it's not real. And then there's no email or terms and conditions or whatever. You feel like an idiot and everyone looks at you and goes, well, didn't you check if they had a returns policy? And you're like, not really. I thought I could just do that. We're a media company, and if we put an ad in the middle of our podcast for a product that didn't exist, we would be liable for that. And so that to me is to live kind of on edge all the time. And even when you do the checks and balances, there's people who will turn up over the holidays to rentals or to accommodation that is not what was promised.
That happened to a friend of mine. They got scammed on, on a holiday rental site. Turned up at what didn't exist. They were literally wandering like Mary and Joseph with nowhere to spend the night. The other thing, which is nowhere near as serious, but the scam alerts are also ruining the surprises of Christmas, because Brent messages me all the time and says, did you just buy this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because, an alert will flash up on the banking app.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes, it's your freaking Christmas present.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
And the only text messages I get are Black Friday sale or scam from, there's a thing to pick up from the post office. And I'm like, I didn't order anything. And it's like a weird scam thing. Got one the other day about some points to claim, and it nearly gets me every time.
I've got some good news for you in a way, which
Yay.
is that none of this is in your imagination. None of the things that we've been describing here. I looked into this and there were 6,000 websites taken down last year, Holly, to your point about how hard it is to online shop these days. 6,000. That is so many. That's just in Australia, by the way. And then on the social media, Jessie, it's true that the ACCC tracks different scams, and it has a pie chart showing where all the scams came from last year. Social media is the lion's share of where scams come from by total losses, which means that is where people are getting scammed the most. And these platforms won't do anything about it.
Right. So what you're meant to do, and I have someone very close to me who got scammed with buying a bunch of stuff online, you need to check they have terms and conditions and privacy and all of that, and ask the question, if I wanted to return this, where's the information to return it? Because what will happen is you'll buy something and then it's like just disappears and they've gone with your money. The other thing is if you buy things on a credit card, often a credit card offers strong protections and they can reimburse you quickly if you discover that it's a scam. And the other thing is reviews. So something can look like it has 5-star reviews, but then you look and it's got 2 clearly AI generated reviews. Like, does it have 2 or does it have 2,000? That's the other kind of big difference.
And we haven't even covered the 2 most common scams in Australia in this segment. So the most common scam by total losses is actually investment scams. So people saying they're going to triple your money or whatever, basically financial services scams.
Yeah, right.
And then the second most common scam in Australia is a romance scam. And last year, they came in at $156 million in losses through romance scams, which is just so devastating.
Sad.
It's like we talk all the time about the erosion of trust, like in institutions, and also between people. Like we're swimming in a soup, as I like. We're swimming in a soup of people trying to get things from you, of just not ever knowing if something's quite right. This doesn't seem quite right. I always think about something you said a while ago, Jessie, which we were talking about lotto winners, and you were saying, how does anyone tell you if you've won the lotto now? Can you imagine if somebody called you and said, you've won $20 million? And then you'd be like, fuck off, and put the phone down. And if somebody emailed you and said, you've won $20 million, you'd be like, delete.
Report.
It's like, how do we even get the good
absolutely
news?
going to spam. That's absolutely going to spam. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that the devices and the ways they're scamming us are getting so sophisticated. That's what really stopped me in Yasha's story, the idea that now they're spoofing phone numbers. Like that was what we were taught as one of the quick ways to tell if something was a scam. And now we can't even tell that anymore. Yeah, so in addition to the spoofing, now AI can mimic loved ones' voices. So one of our producers here suggested this brilliant idea, which is to have a safe word with members of your family so that you know if that's really the person on the phone.
So if anything tickles your spidey senses, you can ask for the safe word. That's a great idea.
But for what it's worth, scamwatch.gov.au is a website where you can go to learn more about scams, to learn how to counteract them. They say stop, check, protect. They have a 3-step process. And remember to report scams if you find them, because that really helps them.
You know what I hate too is that it means that we're less inclined to spend with a lady startup, with an independent small business, because we go, you know what, even though this one is unethical probably and it doesn't pay their workers properly and it might be exploitative, whatever, at least I know it'll come.
That's such a good point.
And that's kind of disappointing.
Outlouders, thank you for being here with us for another show. Whether you are listening to us, whether you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you. And of course, we appreciate our fabulous team for putting this show together. We're going to be back in your ear holes tomorrow.
And don't forget to listen to Parenting Out Loud, which drops every week on Saturday. Find it in its own feed by searching Parenting Out Loud and tap follow so you do not miss an episode.
Bye.